Hey everybody, as you trickle in here, everyone, remember if you would like to be on camera, please raise your hand and we will put you on. There's no pressure to be on camera, but if you would like to be able to be on video and speak, you will need to raise your hand. So um, just click that raise hand button on the bottom and I will let y'all in. And if you see anybody asking what you do to be on camera and I miss it, please tell them to raise their hand as well. April. There we go, Robert. A cool background for me today, huh?
Thanks, Noah.
Yep. Hey guys, how we doing? Hey Emmanuel. Hope everyone had a great day.
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
April, I saw the photo of you with the snake. That's pretty cool.
Oh, she was so sweet. Her name was Peanut Butter.
Always naming snakes sweet names to make them not scary, but I don't know.
Yeah. Aussies love snakes.
Yeah, I know they do, and spiders. My family lives part-time in New Zealand, and
Oh,
I'm so happy there's no spiders or snakes there. So
I was going to say that's not a real place.
no, it's not. That's not.
No, it's lovely there. Really nice. Did they live on north or south?
The tip of the South, so a place called Picton, Marlborough Sounds. Have you ever heard the?
I have not, no, but I know it's all lovely there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just like the wine country equivalent in New Zealand. So like where all the Sauv Blanc comes from.
Right. So I'm from Yarra Valley district in Victoria, which is where all the wine comes from Victoria. Yeah.
Dan,
Hey, gang.
too.
Oh,
Hey.
We're just waiting for Nick. In the meantime, I actually want to go through some of the questions that came up in the app
Do you have them?
while we wait for Nick. Just text him and maybe send him the link.
Yeah.
But one of them, so actually I'm going to handle two of them at the same time. One person talked about the warm up, which is the general warm up for people above the starting from scratch level. They felt it was too easy. And another person felt the warm up was a whole workout. So we're used to hearing about both of those things. And the person not necessarily thought it was too easy, but they thought it wasn't specialized enough. So something people will see when we share Nick's first master classes on deadlift, squat, and bench is what you actually need to do to warm up is incredibly individual. Our job is to convince people warming up is a positive. And that you need to warm up. Part of the way we do that is by having a very simple warm up that, as Adam answered in the app, if you read on today's article, hits all the main movement patterns and all the main muscle groups. And the goal is to grease those movement patterns, get those muscle groups warmed up, and get your body temperature up. So you can go through that warm up as a circuit, but the goal with that warm up is that's to prepare a mass population for weightlifting. I have to do other exercises because I have shoulder PT prehab that I add in. Nick has to do other exercises. So some people in the app have found success by adding the McGill 3 because they have lower back issues. So don't feel that you need to be constrained by the warm up, not to add in your own mobility work. If you're going to physical therapy and you have any issues, I would add anything your therapist thinks will help whatever your problem is. So you can personalize that warm up as much as you want. The goal of the warm up is to give everyone in the app something that shows them the importance of warming up, because we know too many people skip it. And then also to get people just moving and get their temperature up. Now, for the people who think it's too hard, I get it that at first it seems very weird if you grew up in the old days where a personal trainer would say, get on the bike for 5 minutes or get on the treadmill for 5 minutes, and then let's start lifting. That doing these different movement patterns feels strange to you and it feels like a workout. It is a workout. That's the goal. It's not enough workout to fatigue you. It's enough workout to get your muscles ready. That is the best way to warm up your body. At the starting from scratch level, yes, we're going to have people do walking in place or running in place to warm up their body, because their workout is much less volume. And in that case, the actual warm up would be the same as the workout. For the rest of you, I wouldn't worry about that. It's the same way if you're going to bench press and your first working set is going to be 185 pounds for 10 reps. We don't want you to just go lift 185 pounds either. That's why you read the article in the recommended tab, work up your muscles. Like, you're going to do 135, maybe 155 for 3 to 5 reps to get your muscles ready for lifting. So I wanted to handle the warm-up thing first of all. And are there any other questions in here before Nic joins us? What's Nic's story? Nic is currently in the middle
Go
of
to more on the right.
in the middle of people who are jumping motorcycles. So I think I'll add Jeremy too. Is that all? It says they'll be rejoining.
Yeah.
So does anyone here who's on camera already have any questions that I can answer? Go for it. It says Lakeland.
Oh, yeah, I got to rename that. Sorry.
It looks like a high school name.
Yeah, no, sorry. That's a business thing I got to change.
No worries.
So you just talked about how in warm-ups we can add things from our physical therapists. Now, I know you and I have had conversations through chat regarding adjusting things in the actual workouts itself. Now, my physical therapist has just told me, don't do any lower body stuff. Be an old school gym bro and do all your upper body stuff, because we want to figure out where the inflammation in your knees is coming from. Is it because you're squatting too heavy with bad form? Is it because there's some damage in there? How do I do that in terms of the way my workouts are scheduled? Do I just do 0 zeros in some of these, or am I just going to do some bar reps for kicks and giggles?
So you need to do what your physical therapist tells you. And that means in my case, I can give you my example. The last time I hurt my shoulder, there was a period where I couldn't do any upper body work. So it was essentially the opposite of your situation. And I just left all of those blank. Okay. I just I didn't even write 0, 0, 0. I just click to the next exercise if I was in a full body workout, and it would say, you haven't completed these. Do you want to continue? Yes. And I would skip. Okay. And then when I was on the upper lower split and I had to skip, I think I only had to skip pressing. But if I was going to, I would probably move to I would probably do a full body workout just so that you're getting your legs hit every other day, really, if that, or your upper body hit, if you're only hitting upper body, because it'd be hard to schedule out some of the lower splits. That's going to end up with a lot of volume per week on you.
All right. Yeah, because I just started the maximize your strength routine. I finished dumbbell dominance and was like, all right, let's go back to this heavy stuff. And then suddenly the knees were like, hey, we got a problem. So, all right.
Yeah, listen to the PT, find out what's going on.
We're both in PT right now. It's my
Yeah.
left arm.
Noah's in PT because he broke his elbow.
Not literally, but just a little strain.
All right. Sounds good.
Does anyone else have any questions? Yeah, Emmanuel. Can you keep calling him?
So, this question is about warm-ups again. So, and while I was doing warm-ups, I have a warm-up that I need to do 3 sets or four exercises. Like what I'm confused is if I'm doing a warm-up, do I have to do like 1 set of each exercise, or do you do the first 3 sets of the first exercise while doing a warm-up?
It's wait, do you do all 3 sets of each exercise before moving on to the next exercise?
Yeah.
You could do that. There's really no right or wrong way. I personally go through it as a circuit because
Okay.
I have a very short attention span and it makes it much faster. I'm like a goldfish. So if I can do my squats, push-ups, lunges, inverted rows, I can do all of those back to back because when I'm doing my squats, then I'm going into push-ups, different muscle group, then I'm going into lunges. So I can get it done in 5 minutes that way because I'll be totally honest. Also, I'm one of the people Adam is talking about who never likes to warm up. So if I don't get it done quickly, I'm not doing it. So I just stack them one after the other and I do that 3 times.
Okay.
And when I do it in 5 minutes, it's enough that my heart rate gets up and I get the sweat going. So it worked.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No worries. Are there any other questions?
Don't know if mine's one that should wait for Nick or not.
I'll tell you.
Well, I put in a form check that's going to be ugly. It was my PT guy recorded me doing a squat, and it wasn't pretty. The question I have, I'm struggling with the entire drive from your heels. I always drive from the balls of my feet, and it's just a habit. What recommendation would you have for breaking that habit to learn to push from the back?
Or squat shoes.
You wear squat shoes, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I do the same thing when I'm getting heavier. Like today in Nick's psychotic and possibly satanic program that I'm testing during my front squats on the heavier sets, I've caught myself going up onto the balls of my feet. And I mean, it honestly just takes a lot of work because a year ago, I wouldn't have caught that. I wouldn't have even noticed. And what helps me is that feeling of, and I don't know if you can do this while you're sitting down right now or not, but that feeling of screwing your feet into the floor, because then my heel gets engaged and I can feel the balls of my of my feet and my heel when I do the screwing motion, basically moving both feet like this. And then the other thing Nick has yelled at me so many times is sit down between your heels. And when I think of the squat as that, which is incredibly simple, it's my, like that somehow gets me centered again. And today, when I was about to bail, because front squatting, it's much worse to go onto your toes because you're already, the weight's in front of you. You're completely unbalanced then. And I felt it, and then I thought I might be done, but then I was able to get out the next 3 reps I was supposed to get by just focusing on that sit down between your heels cue. So screw in your feet every lift, and then sit down between your heels and see if that gets you closer. Does that make sense?
I think so. I can definitely try it.
Yeah, and those are the two cues that have helped me.
Okay.
Squats.
Anything I can do to try to help break that, because I know it's a well-built habit now.
Yeah.
A real bad habit.
Yeah. I honestly, the biggest thing I did for squatting was just getting my ego out of it, which is a good thing, because now that I'm doing Nick's program, if I had an ego still, it would be killed every single day. So I always tell people, go light and learn the motions before you do anything. Is he joining soon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He texted me, so.
Nick will be with us soon. Are there any other questions? And I'm going to let him do the form checks. I don't think I'm qualified.
down
I'm
there.
always
Two.
being yelled at. Robert.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. I have a quick question related to the same issue here. So I've always been taught that when you deadlift, your feet should be straight forward, right? And that's what Coach Jen said as well. Does that apply to squats too? I thought you were supposed to kind of point out a little bit for squats. Can you give us any direction there?
It's going to depend. So I guess I am lucky that Nick coaches me on all this stuff all the time. It is going to depend on your body type, because you have to think about this. Like, Noah and I have different length femur bones.
Yeah, I mean, you can't see my legs.
Yeah, don't stand up. That is dumb. So we like the way my leg is built, the proportion of my femur to my upper body is going to be totally different to Noah's, which is going to change what's a more natural squat stance for me. So for me, the stance that works best on deadlift and squat is a lot more narrow than I used to be. I used to get out a little bit wider than probably 3 to 4 inches wider than my shoulders, not like a sumo deadlift, but a little more of a athletic stance, I would call it. And working with Nick, I've realized coming in to really shoulder width with my toes slightly out on deadlifts and squats is where I feel best.
Right.
And when we share the master class with all of you, you're going to see Nick talks about this, and he's joining us right now, so he can say it. Nick talks about this in the master class, but start out at shoulder width with your feet and start out.
Now that you can hear me, can I take this by the reins?
Go.
Okay, so we actually don't want straight forward. We want a slight turn out. The reason why, especially when learning your foot width, I want your knees to track out towards your pinky toes. The reason why is to combat any sort of, you've seen people squat and deadlift, and as soon as they get to a peak point in their leverage, their knees kind of travel in and around.
Right.
So we actually don't want a straight foot. I don't mean to contradict Jen, but as a strictly strength background, that is not what I want you doing. I want you slightly turned out. And when you plant your feet, I want you to screw your feet in, and you'll feel tension grab down through your IT band and the outside. So when we, not that straightforward is bad, but if I'm talking about making you better, I want you to screw your feet in and draw on that tension. And if you're trying to turn your feet out while your feet are firmly planted, they won't move, but you'll feel that tension go down the sides of your legs. You go down to the bar and you drive your knees out towards your arms. Your foot width on your squat and your foot width on your deadlift are going to vary. So
Right.
I suggest on a deadlift especially, I want you at your normal walking width. The reason why is if you were to jump as high as you can, you wouldn't jump out wide, right? So
Right.
let's start right under your shoulders. What reason being is that will give us the best option for getting your chest as high as possible and utilizing arm length. So it'll put you in a more upright position versus here bent out, which means arms are wider. So you're gonna have to be bent over further. You're not getting anything out of your arm length. Versus we bring you in slightly and then work out if need be. We start much more in a straight line of input to power.
Okay. Perfect. That's really helpful. Thank you.
Of course.
Nick, can I get some clarification on that? You're talking about both front squat and deadlift.
No, I just want you to go be confused. You can kick rocks. Front squat, any squat. My front squat is slightly narrower than my back squat. Because we're talking about two different places where the weight is. So a front squat, I'm more for my function. I'm more in the width I would push press in, because that's where I need that quad power. So play with that. I don't want you getting too wide, because on a front squat, if you get too wide, you will actually pitch forward in between your legs. So we need to keep your legs under you more so in a front squat than a back squat.
And
Does that answer your question?
No.
So or squat to deadlift.
There you go. Now it does. Thanks.
They're different.
Yep, I got it. It's just that what Jen was talking about with a deadlift, she said energy travels in a straight line. It's better if you keep your feet pointing straight. But you're saying it's okay. You're
I
talking
have
about
to navigate this carefully because I don't want to sound like a dickhead.
no, it's just it's too
The direction that your toes point don't indicate power traveling in a straight line, because if my toes were pointed straight and that had to do with anything where the bar was going, then everyone would have. If you look at some of the best deadlifters, right? So power does travel in a straight line, point A to point B. We're turning our toes out because what we're doing is we're recruiting more glute. So stand up right now.
energy. Got it.
So
I'm screwing my heels and I can feel
so
that.
I want you to point your feet in underneath your shoulders, point them straight out.
Okay.
Now I want you to turn them out slightly, just a little bit.
Okay.
Yep. Now what I want you to do is try and gripping the floor with all your weight. I want you to not allow your feet to move, but input like you're twisting them out more. What do you feel?
My IT band and my glutes.
Bingo. That's what we want.
All you had to do was ask, mate.
I like the live coaching, but also I just want to show you guys in the sorry, I'm going to hold up my phone in the most ghetto way possible. This is half Thor. See, both toes are turned out. This is
Do not take note of his stance because I think he's wearing, I don't know if he's wearing a deadlift suit, but he's also 6'8", so you do not need to be that wide.
He's a monstrous human being. My only point is the guy who has the deadlift world record turns his toes outwards. Don't compare your deadlift form to him. I actually think he's gotten narrower since then.
Since that 501.
All right. Does anyone else have a question? Oh, Ty. Sorry. You're on mute.
Yep. So as I've been lifting and I try to keep up with like the first set mentality and doing everything, I do really good with going for a couple of days out of the week. Then when I think I'm like, okay, I want to get more workouts in, I want to get more days into the week, and I raise it up to like even just 4 days a week or 5 days a week, suddenly I'm like, my body just like runs out of energy within a couple of weeks. And I feel like I have to go back to the 3 day a week because I can't keep up with it. But what would you recommend on that to be able to increase, to get to that more, being able to go more days out of the week?
How's your nutrition and how's your sleep?
Sleep's pretty good. Nutrition, I'm improving. I've been working on trying to get the more protein in each day, about 200 grams of protein.
So let me ask you this, working on or doing?
Well, I'm hitting about 150 right now.
Double that.
So I'm trying to get to more. It's just figuring out how to get it in more. You see
what I'm doing right now?
I do see what you're doing.
I'm prepping 5 flank steaks.
You're protein loading right now.
Did you say 5 flank steaks?
Yeah. There's 2, 1.
Who argued?
There's 2 more.
So I also want to ask. So yeah, sleep, protein. When you say you're going to 5 days a week, are you doing a program that's designed for 5 days?
There we go.
Like I'm jumping from like the 3 day a week foundation to like the 4 day a week foundation, or something like that. I'm going it based off of the program that's in the program. I'm not just like, hey, I'm gonna throw something extra in.
So what if you stick to the middle ground and stick to the 4 day a week and see how long, because you need to recover. It's a recovery issue, without a doubt.
Right.
That's why your body's running into the ground and you're kind of tapering off. So are you finishing a program and starting right into the next one?
Yes, usually I go from one
So I
program right
want you
into
to
the
take
next.
a week deload and then go into the next one. So take a week off, get some pump work in, move, rehab movement, stretch, mobility work. Let your body come down off the abuse, because training is abusing our body, right? And everything we do in the gym costs something. And if you're running at a high effort, and how a lot of workouts are structured is a cycle. So even for an elite athlete, a training cycle does this, and then deload, and then compete, right? So everything has to have these descends to, you got to descend to climb. So you've got to let off the gas pedal to be able to get back on the gas pedal, or else you're just progressively building up fatigue, because you're getting stronger and your body needs to recover from that abuse over time. So say you run, I don't know, 8 week of one of the program and you do it at 3 days a week. Take a week deload, do some pump work, do some curls, do some overhead presses, just get blood in, blood out. Nothing over like 50% of like your maximal effort. Just get blood in, blood out. Don't get sore. Blood heals. So then you take that week, you deload, you feel good, you prioritize sleep, nutrition. Then you go into a 4 day a week of that program and run it for that 8 weeks. Be like, okay, I could handle that. Let's add a 5th day a week. And it might be hard at first, but here's where you balance effort, right? You can, if you're running ragged into that 5th day, you back off the weight and up tempo. So you up, like, say you add a longer eccentric on a deadlift or things like that. And that's where learning intuitively comes into training. Intuitively comes into play with experience. And not a lot of people know that out of the gate, but that's why we're here. So there's ways to manage that fatigue and stress within the workout while maintaining a high effort. Like, you can make a 2 pound weight feel like a 9 out of 10 effort.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And that's kind of, like what you said is, I know how to lift the weight, but I don't know how to train. I'm still trying to figure out how I need to train and stuff. So that's one of the things I feel like I've been running into, is just that fatiguing. But definitely I'll work on getting more protein then, and then I'll work on that with the deload and stuff.
And as
Thank
you
you.
get stronger, get better at recovering, get better at your mobility, get better at your warm-ups, because those are all factors into how well you're going to be able to maintain a certain pace.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Yep.
And then from the chat, Jacob asked about supersetting. I think this was your question from in the app, right, Jacob, about supersetting the things like the curls and the ab work at the end.
Yes, of course. But the question is, when I short of time and I have two sets left with different muscle groups. So can I do it in supersets, or is it not the best way to train?
Yeah.
If it's a time issue and you need to get done that workout, I would much rather you reduce weight, reduce reps, and superset it and get it done than just skip it. 100%. But back off the weight as you reduce the rest and make the intensity a little harder. That's okay.
Yeah, I do it all the time. When I run out of time on a workout or kids wake up, I'll superset. I try never to superset a straight set of a bench press, an overhead press, a deadlift, or a squat unless they're designed as supersets, because I know we're keeping the compound movements generally in straight sets for a reason. But when I get to the back half of that workout, where it's all the accessory movements, the curls, the triceps, the lateral raises, sometimes I'll do all of that as one circuit. But to Nick's point, that means going a little lighter. And a lot of people have asked us before, why is my past weight on my bench press different when I'm supersetting versus my past weight on a bench press when I'm in a straight set? Because you're not going to be as strong when you're supersetting. We're training a little more work capacity. So we want you to compare a straight set lift to a straight set lift and a superset lift to a superset lift. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask a second question?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's a little special. When I do these, I don't know the name, these deadlifts where I pick up the barbell from a higher position. I don't know the name.
A rack pull.
A rack pull, yes, of course. How high should the rack be?
So let me ask you this. Are you weaker in your deadlift below your knees or above your knees?
I think above.
Okay, so if the weak point in the middle of your pool, typically there's two common ones. It's just below the kneecap is where people tend to die off on momentum. And the other one is sometimes just above the knee. So do that rack pull at that weakest point in your midsection to no longer make it a weak point. So there's no
Okay.
set 18 inches. That's where it has to be. That's not a thing. So your rack pull is designed to build that top half strength in your deadlift, which it's more common than not. That's where most people are stronger. Some people, as you progress, you focus on the bottom. The bottom gets stronger, then you got to focus on the top half, and so forth. It keeps flip flopping. So if you're weaker just above the knee, train your rack pulls there in that dead zone where you struggle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And I just want to say for Ty, who said, holy crap, I never did that before. I just do the same weight every time and kill myself on supersets. We're not talking about huge weight differences here. So we're not talking about cutting it by a lot. Just to give you an example, in the workout that Nick has written that we'll have in the app soon, today I was supposed to do 12 front squats and supersetted with jumps, supersetted with an ab movement, and then 10 front squats with the same superset, and then hopefully 8. And the first 2 lifts, I was able to do 65% of my 1 rep max, and then 75 or 55 and then 65, which is what Nick programmed for those 2 lifts. So I had all the strength. But that last set, when I went for 75, after 2 rounds of Nick's evil circuit, I completely failed after the 3rd rep because after 2 supersets, I wasn't really at 75% of my strength. So you will drop off a little bit, but I wouldn't drop off a ton. Right, Nick?
Yeah, I mean it's accumulative fatigue. So percentages. So when you guys do, if any of you try it, percentages are a guide. They're not a you need to hit this exact number every single time. I don't expect you to. I expect that effort to be there. So if it's a 75% for 6 reps, that effort's supposed to be somewhere around a 7.5 to 8.5. So we don't smoke you before the AMRAP step at 85, where your effort's like a 9 to 10, which means you have either 1 to no reps in the tank on that AMRAP set. So it's percentages and effort are guidelines, because there are so many variables in your day-to-day life that I can't expect. You're not a machine. You're not a robot. Like there's you can't predict every single thing, but you can have a blueprint and a guide to guide you through it on where your effort needs to be. So either way, if 75% ain't there, 65% will likely hit that effort target, and that's fine.
All right. let's get a question from Ryan, and then let's get Nick into the form checks.
Hey, thanks. We're able to log on. Thanks so much. The information's been great. I had a question. So at work, I'm bringing a set of Westside barbell bands sometimes to try and get a workout in when I can't use my power blocks at home. Is there, if anyone's familiar kind of with like the red band, the black band on there, like if I do 2 sessions where I'm doing bicep curls with like, red band or black band, how should I kind of translate that back to when I get back to doing dumbbells with my regular routine afterwards? Is it like should I go by like RPE?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
do
that
you
would
have a
be the only
suggestion?
way because bands are always, roundabout, right? Like, you can get on the website and say, oh, it'll be 50 pounds of tension. Yeah, but at what range, right? So it's just I would target that effort, right? So like if you're doing just for shits and giggles, I don't know where your strength is, but say you're doing 6 reps with 40 pounds on the curls and that's where you kind of lie when you have a dumbbell in your hand. Shoot for that effort, that feeling, that effort when you have the bands.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else before we go to the form checks? Or should we get Noah screen sharing and let's get Nick's thoughts? Let's go.
All right. 1 second, y'all. Let me just open it up here. And
Catch, my background's finally cooler than yours for once.
I mean,
I do have one question.
Yeah,
I raise my hand.
go for it.
I am 60 years old and I've been lifting weights for a long time. Sorry about the drilling in the background. Sometimes the weights my body is strong enough to do like pulls and deadlifts, but my hands now have gotten weaker and I'm not quite sure what to do. Do I decrease the weight?
Are you double overhanding your deadlifts? Or are you mixed gripping over and under?
I'm over under. No, I'm double handing.
Okay, so you're making it way harder to hold on to the bar. Think about how a barbell rolls, right? If you're double overhanding, there's no counter input to stop that rolling. So over under, you have one grip pulling this direction, one grip pulling this direction. So it gives you better control on the barbell. Double overhanding a bar is going to be grip work every time because it rolls. So start over undering it as much as you can, and then just use straps when you start to fail there. But you will find it considerably easier to hold on to over under than double overhand.
Okay, and even when I'm on the bench and I'm doing rows, your chest down on I can't remember what they're called, your chest down.
Supported rows.
Yeah. I'm up to 45 pounds and doing my rows. My body can do it, but my hands just can't hold on.
I would use straps.
So, use straps. So when your hands start to fail, then add the straps. Go no straps as long as you can in the set. And then when you get to a set, you're like, all right, my grip is pretty tired after that one. Use straps on the next one.
Okay. It's not too bad for a 60-year-old woman.
Nah, you're doing awesome.
45-pound chest supported rows are a lot more than I'm doing in physical therapy right now. So good job.
Right. I had a big brain bleed a couple of years ago, and I've been doing my charts and everything. And this program has really helped me move forward because if it wasn't for this program, I wouldn't have followed through with my occupational therapy and doing my charts on the wall, just like I watched Arnold. I just would not have followed through. So every day is, legs and arms, and it's been consistent except for when I couldn't, or I've had a grand mal seizure and then those days go off, but I just keep on doing it. So thank you guys.
You're doing everything right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and
that was the inspiration we needed for today.
Yeah, well, what we need from you now is the diet tracking things. Something that helps us.
It's soon.
Assuming that there's no giant disaster by tomorrow, it will be out Monday or Tuesday.
Bless you. It'll help us be more consistent with our.
Exxon will kill me if there is, because he thinks I shouldn't promise that. But if there is a disaster, I'll let everyone know in the Monday check-in. We're
Yeah.
gonna do another week because we
We
won't.
eat pretty clean, but middle-aged women get a middle-aged middle.
I like that. All right, we're gonna go into the form checks now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna start with Robert, chest supported dumbbell rows here. Can everybody see?
Yes, I can.
Everyone good? All right. This is kind of a long video, so
So row more towards your midsection. You're rowing like up. You're getting like more rear delt action than that big lat muscle. So what you're gonna need to do is instead of rowing like up towards your face, you need to row more towards your. Think about bringing your elbow past your belly button. Like try to row the dumbbell past your belly button. So it's kind of it starts with a little backward motion and then you finish off with like your mid back and scapular retraction.
Okay, so the goal for these are to engage more of the lat than the deltoid then?
Yeah. Like you would have like rear delt stuff for the rear delts. The lat's still the main mover here, but you're rowing it like you're kind of working like back trap there, versus squeezing that back and rowing more so in you're here. We want to be here.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
did you have another workout on here, Robert, or is it just a 3-set progression?
No, it's just the 3 separate sets. So I just
All
wanted
right.
to show the full thing.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert, for that one. Looks like this is Jewel. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Doing incline press.
Finish the rep. You're missing, half of that tricep lockout. Your bar path looks good. Breathe and brace. Go all the way to lockout. Stop. Rebrace. Press. All the way to lockout. Stop. Rebrace. Press. Squeeze your butt. Screw your feet into the floor. Otherwise, bar path looks great. I like the slight arch in your back. Your butt's not coming up off the bench. These are great. Just finish the full rep.
And Nick, what about the feet?
Yeah, I said screw your feet in.
Yeah, because I'm terrible at leg drive, and I can see your foot slide on the floor. So
If it's the balls of your toes or your heels, I don't care as long as there is foot pressure. We don't want your butt. We don't want your leg drive up in the air. We want it up the bench. But your bar path's great. So that's good. It's driving back up towards your face.
yep. All right.
All right, moving on now. Same homie, but we're doing pull-ups now. Excuse me.
These are good. He's just banging them out. He's initiating with the back. I would slow down the eccentric a little bit so less wear and tear, that jerk at the bottom on your shoulder. But I mean, he's good at pull-ups. He's got a strong upper back.
Hell yeah. All right.
It's always good.
All right, looks like a flat bench here.
Finish the rep. It's hard to see bar path, but it looks very similar. Same cues on your incline as for your flat bench. Exact same cues. You've got everything else going right. Driving bottom of your nipple line, driving back up towards your eyes. Other than that, it's the exact same cues. Don't try and speed through your sets, guys. Like moving the weight, we need to get good at weightlifting before we get strong. So dialing in those things, and yeah, stopping might make the overall set harder, but what's our goal here? To make it easier, to get stronger, right? So that press, being able to be in control of your pull up, being in control of the bench. When you go for a 1 rep max and, you know, things are going to get a little wonky, you have the right patterns ingrained to create a much higher chance of success when you're in your heavier sets. So you got to move lightweight like it's heavy. Same setup, same reps, everything. Move the lightweight like it's heavy.
By the way, guys, I see there's some chat going off and some Q&As. We cannot see that. So if you have a question, just try to say it on camera just so that we can hear
This
you.
one?
Yeah, that one. But yeah, we can't see or any of the questions.
Whoa.
Hard to see. Gotta get real close to the phone here. I mean, the weight's moving. You drop the weight. This should be a chest exercise, not a full body. You shouldn't have to be almost horizontal on the floor to do a chest fly. Is that what it's supposed to
Yeah.
be? Yeah,
It's a
that
fly.
was a press. That wasn't a fly.
So yeah, and a fly you want to be out to your sides.
You're hugging a barrel.
And it really helps me with something Adam cued me in on before was like bringing my pinkies together, which if you just put your arms in front of you right now and turn your pinkies in, you feel your pec flex. Bring your pinkies together and you get that squeeze at the top. But yeah, I would drop the weight here
Severely.
a lot.
This is like if CrossFit adopted chest flies.
Yeah. And so I would just drop the weight, take the ego out of it. I mean, I kill myself with flies with 25-pound dumbbells sometimes. So you don't need to do the whole stack to get the benefit. And you're probably doing a disservice because it's turning into a press instead of a fly.
Hey, Catch, would you do the same thing with the dumbbell flies of kind of turning your hands in to bring your pinkies together?
Yep.
Okay.
When anytime, I mean, you can just feel it, like the pecs, the center of the pec come flex when you do it. So every fly since Adam told me that, my pinkies come together.
Cool. Thanks.
Dumbbell RDLs.
Okay. So you see how you bent at the knees first versus hinged first. So less legs. So you're pushing up with your legs. You're getting a little bit too much legs into this. We need more, as in quads. We need more hamstring and glutes. So we want more pushback, more stretch in the quad. I love your back positioning. You're not breaking form. You're stopping before your back breaks. That's the designator for range of motion on an RDL. You just need less leg bend and more hinge and glute squeeze to bring it back up, not push the ground away like that's good conventional deadlift form, if I'm being honest. And less RDL.
Just remember, close the door, pretend there's a door behind you. You need to close with your butt. Back, hinge your hips, back your butt up into the door, and you'll get that hinge perfectly. I had to do it today in new exercises in Nick's workout.
So, yeah, I mean, I think what I was trying to do is kind of what you were saying, Catch. I think, but just do it without bending the knee first, or like try to focus on the pushback
hinge first. So can you see, are my hips in frame here?
Yeah. Yep.
So you're starting by descending at the knee and then you're pushing it back. I want you to push back with a slight bend in your knee and then hinge and retrieve the RDL by slamming your ass cheeks together. So you're going down, nice stretch reflex in the hamstrings, squeeze the butt, come up. And I'm pushing my butt back so far, my toes are light. I'm not driving up with my legs at the same time. I have no leg drive in an RDL.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
All
Thank you.
right.
You got the right idea. I can tell your head's in the right spot.
All right. Dan's squat. 3 feet for all of us. Sorry, shouldn't have made that joke. My bad.
The shadow made it look like he was standing on 2 dumbbells vertically. It had me tripped out. I was like, what? Lower. About 4 inches lower. But overall, it's not bad. I mean, he's got all the right components of the squat. It's just, I mean, he's like right there. He's like 2 inches high at depth. So he really just needs to
This is
keep that chest up a little bit more in the hole and just keep sitting down. I always tell people, go lower than you think you are.
Nick, so what you're trying to tell everyone is when you're looking at this from the side, there's basically a slight upward trajectory on the line from his knee to his hip.
Yep,
You
need
want
hip.
it totally flat or at lighter weights below.
Correct.
All
You
right.
want your hips to go below your kneecap. Not a whole lot, just a little bit.
All right. Then we got Big Ben here.
Big Ben.
Big Ben. What we got? He about to crank out some curls. What are we doing?
Curls?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm guessing.
Raises.
Lateral raises.
Lateral raises. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
So here's where I will catch a question. There's a couple ways to do lateral raises. Like there's an Olympic style version where you'll literally take plates and go all the way up and pronate out above your head. There's, just above level. There's slightly front, slight elbow bends. So there's a couple quote unquote right ways to do these. So
Straight arms.
when it comes within the app catch, what do you want to see them doing? Because this isn't a bad lat raise. Especially if you want a good mobility aspect. I do treat people. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we typically, the way Adam teaches it is Adam will do a slight bend and then come straight up to the sides. Actually more like 3/4 out.
And the Arnold way.
And
So I would say maybe slightly less bend for Ben, and come a little bit more out to the side than out front.
and you can, yeah, a little more out to the side. And then, I mean, to be fair, we also have the videos of Arnold's range on front and lateral raises. And Arnold did the Olympic style. Arnold went way almost vertically
Yeah.
above his head.
Front raises.
Yep.
Yeah, front raises, which is insane. But you're good if you get that. You'll know when you get the delt pop. But generally, hands at about 3/4 out from the body and try to keep your elbow a little straighter.
Question.
Yep.
Okay.
Is there any difference in those variations into how it works?
I mean, if we get down to a neuromuscular level, possibly. But you're not going to know the difference result wise.
I
Like
can tell
it's
you, I can't do
you're
all-
activating your delts either way.
And like, just sorry, with lateral raises, I feel like I see a lot of bodybuilders do it to target specific parts of their deltoid. Whereas like when Nick's talking about the like Olympic lifters, like those guys are doing it in order to get their mobility so that they can do their lifts. And so like, I would also say it depends on goal. And I would
Well,
just stick to
both.
yeah, Daniel said.
Yeah, I can't do Arnold's way. My shoulder would fall out of the socket. So if you can't, go for it. But
It's not going to be, when you're talking about activation and difference in growth or aesthetic. No, not really. You can sometimes in my training, I have super slow, straight arm directly out to the side. Sometimes I have them heavy, slightly bent. Sometimes it's the Olympic style where we do want a mobility aspect to it. Aesthetic wise, you're not, it's in a year's time, if you do 3 different ways in 4-week periods over the year, you're not gonna notice a difference in how your delts grow because they're getting activated all the same. There's so much shit on the internet. You got to do it this way to grow this. Shut the front door. Like,
Yeah, we're not trying to
delt activation is delt activation. Time under tension is time under tension. So I think this is a case of just, it's a good question. But people overthink it, people complicate it on the internet to make it seem like they know more than they do. No, if your shoulders are raising the weight, you're not gonna get, oh, I'm gonna make this side grow more than the other. No, no. It shouldn't even be something to worry about as long as you're under control, you're consistent, and your delts are on fire, you nailed it.
We got a clean and press.
Can I ask you a second question about it?
Sure.
What I saw in the last video, and it happened to me sometimes. I'm seeing my hips move when I lift up the weights. It's the same when I train with biceps curls or something. And
Squeeze your
because
butt
of that,
and contract your core.
okay. In the past, I did not use this heavy weights. I did lower weight then.
Yeah. So all it is I'll call it spatial awareness and where your body is in space and what you're activating, not activating. So if you're doing any sort of upper body assistance movement, whether it's a raise or a curl, right? And you're getting a little bit of hip movement, squeeze your butt, brace. If it's a little tiny bit, it's okay. As long as you're not throwing the weights up, I call it body English. It's fine. A little tiny bit of movement, but it is a good opportunity to consciously think through the movement. Okay, I'm stable, my butt's squeezed, my core's tight, I'm moving the weight, and I'm solid as an oak tree, right? So you can look at it either way. Like it's not a big deal. It's not going to make or break it. But if you want a chance to consciously work on your movement, yeah.
Squeeze your
Okay,
glutes,
thank you.
squeeze your abs. This is another good reminder to people because I just answered a customer service ticket about does this exercise work your abs? Every exercise, if you're doing it properly, your abs are braced.
They're load bearing.
So
if you're standing and holding weight.
Remember to read Adam's article in the recommended tab, The Art of Tension. Once you start learning to tense the muscles you're not using, you're going to find out you're stronger than you think. Here's Ben's clean and press, Nick.
Okay.
Seated dumbbell.
Not bad. So with that, you see how you're curling down with your upper body. We don't want to curl down into flexion and use our spine. I'd rather you brace, stay upright, and initiate that clean, that initial out of the hole momentum with your traps. So it's pop, snap up, pop, snap up. And you don't bring them out and around. You throw your elbows, you keep them close, and you throw your elbows underneath and press up. So it's initiate with traps, follow up with biceps, keep them close, catch them, press. We want to keep that core nice and rigid. We don't want that folding.
All right. This is Eric Flannery's deadlift.
So he's totally in flexion, no brace. So we want to push that belly button to the floor, arch that back, exaggerate a little bit because you're completely in flexion from neck to butt. So We need to pull that back in tight, retract your shoulders. Think about putting your shoulders down in your back pocket so your chest pushes out, and push your belly button to the floor. Think like back position, flatness of like an RDL.
I show this. Nick, I just had this problem this week. And wasn't it on Sunday that you were yelling at me about being in flexion?
Yeah. 808, you should have not be in flexion.
Yeah. And so what Nick is saying is simple, really, once you learn it. I basically, when we watched, I wasn't getting any tension in my lat muscles, and you could see the lat wasn't engaged. As soon as I started flexing my back, I lost that bend in my back. So just really focus on that tension in your back before you pull. And next up is Elizabeth's. Looks like cable crunches, but
It's not bad. Just your arm position, you're probably getting a lot of lat engagement here. I'd pull that cable in closer right in front of your face, like at your forehead, so you're not out here. You're crunch, so your lats are doing a lot of work trying to hold it there. So you want to actually pull it down here so it's closer, and then you're more in the core and you have more dictation over it, and it's not as taxing on your lats.
next.
Jan's always working.
Jan's always
There is.
arm checks in here.
Love to see it.
Give Jan an extra spotlight there. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Got some Arnold.
She got that Arnold range of motion.
Yeah, I've got no problem with these. I would get maybe your elbows slightly turned up, slightly a little bit, just a little bit. But otherwise, these look great. You're in control. I would even say it's a little light, but that's okay if you're comfortable there. Slow down the eccentric the way down, and you'll get a little bit more burn out of that. But overall, yeah, she's killing it.
And she got another one. Oh, more cable crunches. I wish
That's-
everyone was at the New York meetup where Arnold got down on his knees and was a 78-year-old coach doing cable crunches for everyone.
Yep, she's using her lats. Yep, she's extending out and then pulling back in. So she needs to keep that down in front of her face. That extension, she's probably getting more lat engagement than I bet she's feeling it in her lats just a little bit even. But you want to keep that down here because it's a rope. So you can pull it around your head and get it a little bit closer.
Craig's progress on his deadlift. He named the video progress, so I feel like he's feeling pretty good.
How you start your descent, you're in the right position, and then you fold over. Then you lose it in your lumbar. So if you look about midway down your back down, it's all curled under, right? The bar's out in front of you. You see how the bar arcs around your knees? We want to see the bar traveling straight. We don't want to see an arc around your knees. So the reason you're probably in flexion is because the weight's out in front of you and it's harder than it needs to be. So when I pull that against the shins, and push the ground away. You don't want to try, and as you push the ground away, your legs will start to straighten as you come up in unison and your glutes come through, your knees are going to come back. So, same cue I gave the gentleman earlier, set those lats so your chest comes out and push your belly button to the floor and keep that bar close. Like I've got scars on my shins because I literally dragged it up my shins.
Yep. Red 11s.
Yep.
All right. And we have Jeremy's front squat or regular squat.
Not holding on this week. Jeremy, these have gotten so much better.
Better. Find it.
He's with his physical therapist, Nick.
Yeah, these good. That he needs hands-on work. Man, those have gotten so much better. You're getting deeper. That second one was a little deep. You don't need to necessarily go that deep. Jeremy has an underlying condition going on. So his squat's been a total rebuild from literally zero weight. We were doing Hatfield squats where he was holding on to something. The confidence in your descent now is a night and day difference. So keep doing whatever you're doing. It's working.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
More cable.
Everybody with it. We need to get the video of Arnold doing this in
Pumping iron.
no, in
Oh,
New York a couple months ago. Since everybody's asking about this exercise, which to be fair, every time I tried to do it in our videos, Adam and Arnold yelled at me I couldn't because I do what all these people are doing and use my lats.
So yeah, she's like pulling it down into the cable crunch versus just keeping it right there on your head and working in that. Abs, man, like in my opinion, it's not necessarily the contraction, it's the time under the tension. So like you don't need a super long range of motion. This is far more than you need, but it's the fact that even if you stay here and you don't extend all the way up and you get that contraction and that time under tension and your abs are loaded the entire time you're doing your reps, that's more important. So the pulling down into the cable crunch, you're basically giving yourself momentum. Yeah.
So no one should feel bad about this because I'm not joking. I wasn't allowed to do the videos for this because Arnold and Adam hated how much I use my lats. It's really just this movement. That's all you're looking for. So
Yep.
don't
It's crunch.
in the arms. Okay. Paul Wicking, our guy with 160. This is a PR. Paul, are you still on?
Yeah, I'm here. So this was this week I did a personal record 160 kilos. So that's up 12 and a half from what I did with the hex bar in Tal.
Let us do American math real quick for it.
Yeah, just you probably want to fast forward because I was getting in the mood for
You get his head right, man. I love it.
150 in the first set, and then I did 155 in the second set, and this was 160 in the third set. So
That's
it was
good.
a bit
I want to see it set up.
music and shouting and such.
So this is 352 pounds for the American folks out there.
Yeah, and they move slowly.
That's fine. That's a PR. So I'm gonna say this, folks. When that was a max effort lift. Look at the control you set it down. I love that. I love how conscious you were of your chin position, your back position, your setup. Everything looked good. And the little bit of flexion that did happen on a PR, you weren't compromised. That is okay. That is where I am totally okay with flexion. You sent it there. Things are going to break down at 100%. I expect them to. Your body's trying to find leverage and power everywhere it can. So you're braced into that belt, your back's supported. I'm not concerned about your spine here. It wasn't that much flexion. The only thing, don't bend your arms. I could see it starting to happen, and it's a reflex that happens when you're fighting for your life on a deadlift. I get it. I've been guilty of it subconsciously. Caught it on a video.
Coming up.
Yeah, you see your elbows try to bend because you're again fighting for your life. But otherwise, man, I just want you to be stoked with this PR. That's it.
Cool, thanks. I am.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Next up, Anita. What are we watching?
The rack. I can't see the hip position.
Anita, you're here? I see you. You're outside somewhere.
Are these conventional deadlifts?
They were trying to be.
So you're creating a deficit with the little plates. So it's a bigger range of motion than you would normally need. And we need to get your butt and hip slower so we get more leg drive. So the cues you heard me say earlier, belly button, push that belly button to the floor, get that chest up. And I want you to get your hips back and down. So it's going to put your weight over the middle of your foot, and you're going to get more leg drive out of the hole versus picking it up with pretty much your lower back that entire rep. So it looked like you were kind of somewhere in between an RDL and a regular deadlift form.
Yeah, true.
If you don't have a bigger plate option at that weight, I would elevate that on the rack, like loading pins or anything, about 2-3 inches. So you get, I believe, a conventional height center plate is like 9 inches, I think.
Okay.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember, but I believe it's around 9 inches or
I
13
think that's
inches.
right, because I think the total's 18. So yeah, just elevate it. And so everyone knows, we talk about this in the upcoming masterclass, but if your gym doesn't have the 10 or 25 pound full size plates, then do what Nick's saying and just elevate a few inches so that you're not forcing yourself to do a deficit.
Mats, boxes, pins, squat pins, safety
Yeah.
arms, whatever you can. I don't care how you do it.
Okay, fantastic.
You good?
Good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you I'm so sorry about that. Yeah.
Thanks for submitting a video.
No
Yeah,
apologizing.
Yeah.
Don't apologize. This is what we're here for.
It's not
For a minute, I
allowed.
didn't even realize you could hear me. But yeah, okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like a glute bridge in collaboration with a lat pullover. So pick a position, either your hips a little more down or hips a little more up, and let your lats do the work, because you're trying to. I don't know. I've never seen someone do them like that before. So
I think, Nick, I think that's coming from in the video where Adam is doing them. Arnold steps in and makes him drop his hips, but he doesn't have him drop his hips and then have him bring them.
yeah, keep them dropped.
Yeah.
And
Keep
let
them
the
down.
stretch reflex with your lats happen, and pull over with your lats. No need to bring your glutes and hips back up to where they were.
All right, Lenny. Is this a deadlift?
Position looked good in that thumbnail. You got long arms, built for deadlifting. So he jerked. We don't want to jerk. So what that means, what I'm gonna tell you to do is no more touch and goes, because your start position is the hardest rep. So no more touch and goes. I say that for everyone. No touch and goes, because it allows you to come from a dead stop. And think about when we're going for a max effort lift, right? We're not coming down on the first rep with tension. We need to be strong off the floor from our start position. So as you jerk, what it did is it pulled your brace out and your position out. And then your lower back started to curl, so your hips could advance to make up for that out of position posture. So let's get your hips back a little bit further, drop your butt and get more leg drive. Be patient off the floor, don't jerk. Push the ground away, and then let your hips come through without jerking on the bar and creating an out of position situation, because that's what that first rep did. And that's why you saw your hips curl under. So we want your hips to come through, but we don't want them to curl under and create that compromised shearing potential. So because when they curl under, now the weight can pull down over the hips, and that's how we get the herniations, the disc tears and bulges and so forth, because it creates a shearing force and you're no longer in that position where your hips can slide through on a track.
Next, Ty.
Slow it down. That's the main thing. Slow it down. And man, and I tell you, when I have high rep lunges and stuff, the only thing I want to do is just survive and get through. But you got to slow these down. That's where you're really going to get the benefits from them. You might be a little bit more sore with that time under tension, but slow them down. Everything else looked good. How you were doing them, you were stable, you didn't look off balance. All that looked good. Just slow them down. Not exponentially, but just enough to so you're not dropping to the floor.
Okay.
He's Ty too.
Yeah.
It's okay, Ty. Nick made me do a ton of lunges today, and I did them as fast as I could.
That's
I
why
have
you
to
didn't
say-
send me those.
I did send them to you.
Oh.
I actually didn't do them that fast.
Oh, yep. Your hips came forward. Again, you like to move fast. Slow it down. Especially with an empty bar. Create like a 3 count eccentric, like 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 up. So you came down, your knees pushed forward, your butt came forward, and that's what kicked you off balance. So you have great posture, you've got great mobility. Everything about this I love, other than, again, same thing with your lunge. See how your heels came up and then you rocked back and came off balance? We want to keep those heels on the ground. So you're going ass to grass. Your depth is great. Your mobility is great. You shallow out maybe an inch and you'll still be below depth, but it won't create that butt wink that pushes you onto your toes and allows you to be a little bit more stable.
Okay. Okay. Good.
The next
Cool.
squat video, I want to see it from the front as well because I want to see your foot width.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Ty. And we got some deficit deads here.
Man, this is dark.
Gym.
That is a cool gym.
There's the influencer lighting.
So deficit deads, are they RDLs? Because you're basically doing RDLs.
It
I can't see how the deficit. Maybe
So a deficit,
on
we got to
two plates,
realize
so-
we got to compensate for that deficit. The purpose of a deficit is to make us stronger off the floor. So we need to put ourselves in that deeper position with our hips, which means our core is going to have to do more work, which means we're going to have to use less weight. So I would like him to drop his hips a little bit and use those legs to come up off the floor. And because you should be in your normal position after you've hit conventional height. And he's in a RDL position by the time he gets there. So he's using all hamstring and all back. So drop your butt a little bit. You let those legs do their job. Bring your chest up high.
Low pin squat.
I can't see shit.
Make it full screen, Jen. See if that helps at all.
That's a little better. But he's black. The background's back. So all I see is elbows and legs.
So I'll chime in really fast. I would get the pins lower. We want
Yep.
we want the low pin squat. The goal there is to train the weakest position for most people, which is the bottom of the squat.
Like way lower.
We want you be at parallel or below parallel knee to hip. So I would drop those probably 3 to 4 inches so that your starting position for that squat is all the way down where you want
Correct.
to be.
I would even bring your feet out an inch each foot because you're pretty narrow. That looked like a front squat position, but it also may help you get down to that depth a little bit because it looks like you got some long legs. So, our width is always proportionate to the person. So, just a hair wider, and let's see what that does.
Okay, we got a deadlift from Ian.
Overall, these look good. I'd like to see a little bit more rigidity out of that lower back. I see you setting your lats, and I love it. Snaps the bar,
Yeah.
boom. See how his shoulders come back towards his hips, not up and like he's pinching them together. That's exactly what I mean. That is a great visual representation of sliding your shoulders to your hips. Boom, he tries to snap the bar. Now, your lower back. See how much flexion? It doesn't get set. So when you pack your lats, push that belly button to the bar. Get that lumbar set. That's really the biggest thing. The other one little thing, the lockout, you don't need to lean back so far at the top. I don't want you leaning back to finish the deadlift. I want you bringing your hips to the bar, literally accelerating your hips to the bar. So as you come up here, we'll watch one more rep. Boom, up, lower back should be set, everything, blah, blah, blah. Boom. Now hips would accelerate to the bar instead of pulling the bar back to your hips. And you do that by just slamming your butt cheeks together.
But amazing lat packing.
Yeah. And I mean, violently bring your hips to the bar. Like, I'm talking like day one in a federal penitentiary, squeeze those butt cheeks hard, slam into the bar.
Okay, we got Emmanuel's body weight lunges.
These are good. Yeah. I've got no problem with these.
Okay, thank you.
Easy money.
Yeah. No notes.
Yeah, those
Okay,
look
thank
great.
you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good speed. That's what Nick means by control for everyone else. Last one. This is Chris's low bar squat.
Does he mean like a low bar on his back?
Yeah, I assume. Oh, Nick, sorry. I'll let you see him step out.
This is a fantastic squat. So I'm going to be nitpicky. When your chin rises, keep that chin in the same position as when you descended and drive your back into the bar. Otherwise, your squat is very put together, and I don't want to change anything because that little hip kick up is synonymous with your chin rising. So otherwise, that is a great squat. Depth is great. Even at a low angle, it still looks like he's hitting depth, which means his depth's good, because if you were to put that at the same level, he would look deep. So that chin rising, your hips kicking up and back, gets you ever so slightly out of the groove. And again, I'm being very picky because your squat is good. We're just trying to make it even better.
All right. That's the end of the form check. So we're just going to scroll through this chat really fast because we've been ignoring it. And I can't tell you about working out in the office. I can only work out in a gym, in my home gym. Oh, Paul, thank you. It's 17.72 inches. So yeah, look for 9 inches, the bar off the ground. Lunges are evil. Yeah, we agree with all of you on that. And I think, Noah, how do we see the question part?
Go back to the bar at the top. Sorry.
So Nick, I guess a question on, especially when we're doing reps for deadlifts, is it better to set it on the ground, reset, reload, and pull up at that point in time, or
You don't
instead of
have
the
to
touch and
completely
go?
reset. Stay attached to the bar, re-brace, drive.
Okay, so
You
instead
just
of like the
need,
touch and go.
yep, just no touch and go. Like down, up, down, up.
Nick does make everyone do that. Alex asked before he signed off, what's your favorite, dumbbell lunges or dumbbell rear foot elevated squats? Both those are terrible. So I'm not picking a favorite between those two exercises. But
I'm
Nick,
literally the only one who loves lunges now.
It's because you're Australian. You guys do things backwards.
Listen, I love lunges. And I'm doing the Bulgarian squats and I'm not cramping on the feet, so it's great.
I have that same problem, April. I always cramp my feet when I hook them around something.
So
Yeah, put a foam roller underneath the top of your foot so your foot's at a natural angle.
yeah, and that works great.
Does anyone else have a question before we sign off?
Sure, I got one more.
Hit me.
So with all the deadlifts we saw, what's your idea about platforms? Because like I have long arms as well, and I find that it really shortens my length of motion unless I elevate myself. Does that matter, or is it just
what?
Well, yeah, can you explain that?
So like I have a with my deadlifts, I have again I'm 6'3", so I have ridiculous proportions, and anytime I try to do a deadlift, I tend to find the bar hits the ground before I feel like I've even finished the rep. So is it better to find like a nice platform to elevate myself so that I can really get deep into the hips and into the knees and all of that? Or is it just smile and nod with what I've got?
I don't understand.
How long are your arms exactly?
I would just go lift's easier.
Yeah, if you have long arms, the deadlift is
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
You're built to
Yeah,
deadlift.
deadlifts are not hard. They're not hard at all.
Did you send a deadlift video?
Not this time,
Send
but I
me a deadlift
definitely
video
should.
next week.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna start doing a session weekly. So there'll be 2 sessions on Jen's week. I'll do earlier, different time zone, and then we'll have my week. So I'll be able to get to more of these more often.
Okay.
Send in record your next deadlift session from the front and the side.
Okay. I know my wife took a video of one that I did last week, so we can.
And if it turns
we can
out
make a
your
new
arms are
one.
ridiculously long and that's just the way it is, do not complain about literally being built for deadlifts.
Got it.
You get the overhead press. It's going to be a different story for your long arms. Trust me.
Oh my
So I
goodness!
have-
I did a bench PR the other day, and my arms were like spaghetti noodles. They were just woo.
You're
I
making
get that.
deadlift. Anybody else before we say goodnight?
So I'm using an open trap bar, which I switched to using from a straight bar. And I really don't see much difference between the handle selection. I have, one that's in line with the middle of the plates, and then there's another that's about 3 inches higher, and the one that's higher is wider diameter. But aside from the grip, do you have any preference on which one you use or when? Because
like conventional versus trap bar?
No,
No,
low
I mean
handle
like
or
the
high
handle
handle?
position on the open trap bar. So I have one that's higher and the one that's kind of in line, which is more comfortable because that's used to what I'm used to in
I
line with the middle
prefer
of the
the
bar.
conventional height, just for the range of motion, right? But what I'll say is, if you don't plan on doing a powerlifting meet or anything of that nature, and you're doing this just for, if there's one that just makes you happier, stick with that.
Since
So you
you're
have
yeah.
the consistency.
Yeah, since you're lifting and it sounds like you like lifting with the low handles better, I would just stick with the low handles then, because if you like it, there's no reason to decrease your range of motion 3 inches.
Got it. Thanks.
Trust me, I'm trying to rebuild that range of motion right now.
Yeah. No, my problem is the ankle mobility. I use the power lift shoes, so when I go from squatting to deadlifting, I have to take the shoes off because I, have to get flatter.
Yeah, you should not be
Yeah.
deadlifting with a heel
No,
elevation.
no, I'm taking those off when
Okay,
I
good.
do it.
Good. All right. Anybody else?
Hey, Coach, really quick question on the opposite of that. So if I have problems at the bottom of my deadlift, should I turn the trap bar over and use the lower handles to train with? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had me do that, Nick, at some points.
Yep.
Yeah. And the other thing is when you're doing your workup sets, throw in some pauses an inch or two off
So
the ground.
that's what I did for Catch because the shittiest part of his deadlift was right off the floor. You're literally
Yeah,
gonna
that's the
come
same
off the
thing.
floor like this much, and you're gonna pause 1,000, 2,000, and then pull from there. So in your
Yeah.
workup's not your working set.
Okay. Yeah, I know if I can get it 2 inches off the ground, I can finish it, but it's those
That's the
2
same
inches
as
that
me.
kill me.
Yeah.
So.
Use those low handles to train that and then use the pauses in your workups. The pauses did wonders for me.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. That's it, guys. We are going to say goodnight and head into the LA traffic here.
Yep, got a nice hour 30 home.
We're praying for you. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey, thanks. Yeah.